curtindo um podcast, né? Sabe o que você também vai curtir? Saber que o melhor flip de todos os tempos chegou. O novo Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6, com Flex Cam, que tem zoom automático e faz selfies de 50 megapixels e com bateria estendida para nunca te deixar na mão. Vá a uma loja ou saiba mais em samsung.com.br. Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6. Galaxy AI chegou.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on Go Ahead Tell Me. Today we have our guest, Brooke Strauss-Dobi. She's here to talk about her business called Her Biz. I actually found Brooke on Clubhouse, a really cool app that lets you kind of join different rooms and speak with other people who have similar interests and connect with people all around the world. So Brooke, thank you so much for being here today. I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and more about your organization.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity. So my name is Brooke Strauss-Dobi, and I'm the owner of Her Biz, which is a line of t-shirts, mugs, and tote bags that have powerful affirmations on them that empower and motivate female entrepreneurs. And they are like fun and sassy. And should I go into like the story behind it? Do you want me to go there at this point?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I became an online entrepreneur almost 6 years ago. I started a VA or virtual assistant business. And basically around last year, I realized I was just kind of feeling drained, and I enjoy the VA world. I'm still doing that business, but it wasn't fully me because I've always been a very creative person throughout my entire life. I was always doing something just very creative, whether it was creative writing or doing like community theater. I used to be in some bands. I used to do spoken word poetry. So I was always doing something.
How cool.
Yeah, thank you. So I was always doing something really creative. And I mean, being a VA can be creative, but not in the way how I wanted to be creative. And so I wanted to make money doing something a little more creative. And being a VA, I was already exposed to, e-commerce and that whole world. So I was already familiar with it. And so last year I got the idea to have, like an e-commerce store. And I was thinking, like, what could I do? Like, I knew I could put designs on different products. And honestly, the idea really just came to me, what I feel was just in a really divine way. My creative ideas usually just kind of hit me, like I don't really think about it. It just kind of hits me, and it comes from a really deep place. And it's really interesting because I kind of realized when I got to Clubhouse in late December, as I started sharing about this newer brand, as I was just listening to other women talk, and I don't know, I started to realize the deeper meaning why I started this brand, which I realized is I went through a lot of emotional trauma in my life. I was raised by like just a very emotionally abusive mother. And so I always had to like fight for my self-esteem and fight for self-love and to feel good about myself. And I think as I was always doing creative things, that's where I found my self-love and my joy, when I was doing creative things. And when I became a VA, there's just always ups and downs, when you're an entrepreneur. And I think kind of like I needed the affirmations for myself, and it was a way of kind of lifting myself up. But then when I got to Clubhouse, I realized, oh, like I'm not the only woman who needs to be lifted up. Like, I'm not the only one. And when I started seeing people's other women's reactions to my brand, it just kind of clicked. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is it's more than a t-shirt, mug, tote bag brand. It's really it's more like a movement to really uplift other female entrepreneurs, because I knew after 6 years that it's not an easy road. And so basically, yeah, so it turned out that it's just really a fun and creative way that I'm empowering and motivating other, like what I like to call female entrepreneur overcomers, who have become resilient for one reason or another. And I realize that resilience is so important in being an entrepreneur in general. I think especially being a female entrepreneur. And so yeah, so that's kind of the nutshell of how it came about.
Yeah, I love that. And one of the reasons I was so drawn to your brand was because of that, like that fun, creative, like phrases and all that, and then the colors and the bright pink and everything, and then the fact that you had this special meaning behind it. I saw on your Instagram live, like the woman you were speaking to mentioned like that it's like a sisterhood, and like wanting to create this sisterhood. And I think that's really awesome, and women need more things like that. I feel like especially women who are trying to start their own businesses and trying to get on their feet, because a lot of us have gone through that emotional trauma and things that you've mentioned, and we need that support, which is why I thought your brand was super neat and unique, and I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yeah, that is what I really, I realize. I might not have realized when I started, but I realize now that is what my goal is, to make it like a sisterhood, which I think it's really unique. I mean, I've never personally seen a t-shirt brand that was more than a t-shirt brand. Like, you know what I mean? That was like something a little bigger. So for me, that's why I think it stands out a little bit in that way.
Yeah, I think it definitely does. And I also love the way you've used social media as well. Like Ben saw today on your live, is it that you invite people to your lives when they purchase a shirt? Is that how it goes?
So what's interesting is I just started doing this, and that was the second time that I did that, where these two particular women who bought a t-shirt, I met them in my club on Clubhouse, my Ladies with the Legacy Club. And like I wanted, like I just want to keep building the sisterhood out. And so someone actually a Clubhouse friend gave me the idea actually to do that, to interview them on Instagram Live. And it just clicked. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a great idea, because then they can share their story a little bit and share about their businesses. So yeah, so I just started doing that, and I'm really excited about it, because I'm really, really enjoying doing that.
Yeah, that's such a cool idea. And I feel like it really gives that like feel of a community when you introduce each other and let other women share their stories too. I really loved that idea. It was awesome.
Thank you.
And I wanted to kind of ask you the same question you asked in your live today about legacy, because I love the shirt that or the Ladies with a Legacy. And so I wanted to ask you, like, what does that mean to you, like Ladies with a Legacy? Yeah,
that's a good question. So, I mean, it's funny that I asked someone that I asked her that today. But yeah, to me, it's like for two things. It means mostly two things to me. One, since I have a daughter who's almost 8, I just really want to. She's a lot like me. She's if you watch my reels and my TikToks, you'll see her in a few of them, because I also have t-shirts for girls, like girl power kind of t-shirts for girls also. So I love that. Thank you. So she's a lot like me, and she is she's just very what's the word? She's like, just like fun and sassy, and she likes to do a lot of the same things that I like to do. And I want to just really support her, like give her the support that I didn't have. And so, as she gets older, if she wants to, whether she wants a career or if she wants to be an entrepreneur, because she's already talking about, hey mommy, how can I make money online?
Oh, how cute.
Which is really funny, because I didn't expect her to say that. And she was asking me recently about Shopify and like drop shipping, and I don't even know that much about. Yeah, I don't do drop shipping. That's different from what I do. So I was like, how do you know about that? and I realized, like, wow, she's really, really watching me. Like our kids really watch what we're doing and they really absorb it at such a young age and get influenced by it. So for me, that's part of the legacy is I want to really encourage her to follow her passions and for her to encourage her kids to follow their passions. And the other part of legacy for me, which it's probably not the typical, I know usually like if you look up legacy, it's like the definition is more revolved around, money and inheritance and things like that. But for me, like, I had an abusive mom and my grandmother was like that to my mom. So there was like a generational, generational curse, if you will, or generational abuse. And so for me, like, I feel like I'm stopping that and creating a different kind of legacy of love and, being a better mom. So for me, that's like what makes me think of as well.
That's really powerful. I really love that. And like the a legacy of encouragement, it seems like an empowerment too, which your daughter's so lucky to have you around and have you as an inspiration. It seems like she's already picking up on that, which is so cool.
She is. It's really cool too, because she has some pet fish. And I mean, a couple of times, of course she asked me to buy her more fish, but one day she's like, I want to make money so I can buy myself more fish.
Oh,
and I was like,
and she's ready to do it on her own.
Yeah, she's just ready. And I mean, I just almost dropped to the floor. I mean, I love that she already has like that work ethic in her head, and that she understands like she has power to like make things happen. Like that's on a small scale, but you know what I mean? For like almost 8 years old, I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it shows her like desire for independence, which is also so important. I feel like, especially for young women, like to have that desire to be independent is just, it's rare sometimes. So it's awesome to hear that.
Yeah. She's my little mini me for sure.
Perfect. Well, we definitely need more women like you in the world. So
thank you.
And then, so I know you talked a little bit about the VA business, and that VA is virtual assistant, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you still do that as well?
Yeah. So I still do that. My goal is really, since Bold and Her Biz is a little newer, since I started that in the fall of 2020. So my goal is, of course I'm still building that up, but, I'm starting to make sales. And so for me, my goal is to like, focus on that and only that. But for now, the VA business, that's my bread and butter. So it's all good. So right. I'm still hopping along I'm basically doing both of them now. So it's not easy, but it's worth it. I enjoy it. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask, that must be a lot to juggle, like both companies and then being a mom as well. And girl, I'm sure a lot of other women are in the same boat. So I'm curious how you manage all of that.
I wish I could tell you. I don't know how I do it. I don't know how I do it. It is hard. It is hard. Like almost every day, like by dinner time, I'm exhausted. And I literally say to myself, like every day, like, how did I do all that today? Like doing client work and being on Clubhouse and doing this interview and making dinner and trying to fit in exercise. I'm like, oh my goodness. But you know what? It's funny. It's funny because I think a lot of entrepreneurs feel this way. Like you end up working more hours and putting more into it when you're an entrepreneur rather than when you're at a 9-to-5 job. But we love it because we're crazy and we love it. It's like when you're passionate about it, you don't mind spending the extra time doing it. Like it doesn't feel like work. I mean, to my body it does a little bit, but you know what I mean? Like to your mind, it's like, I don't even think about it. Like I'd rather be doing this like, more than 8 hours a day rather than working for someone else doing what I don't like from 9 to 5.
Right.
So I don't mind, but it is not easy.
I can imagine. That's crazy. It's a lot to handle for one person, but you're doing it. And like from the look on social media, like you can tell you have fun with it, which is so important as well.
I really do. Like I can't wait for the day. And I believe I know I'll get there when I can just focus on that and just make my videos and do my Instagram lives with the ladies and be on Clubhouse all a lot more, and I just can't wait for then, because it's going to be like a big party for me. And
You'll get there for sure. I can
I'll
tell
get
it's
there.
already like picking up steam, and
Yeah.
like seeing how the women have reacted to like in your live and everything. You can tell that women have really needed something like this. So it's exciting to see.
It really is. I mean, it really, really is. Like, it really touches my heart when women say things like that. And in my club on Clubhouse, they'll just say things like, "Oh, I'm so glad I found this room, Brooke. Thank you for creating this space. It's so, they just say beautiful things about it. And it really warms my heart, because I'm like, okay, good, because this is what I'm trying to do. So when people validate it, it's a huge deal, and it feels great.
Yeah, and I bet it's encouraging too to just make you want to work even like more and get it out there even more.
Totally. Exactly. Definitely.
Um, how has like being a woman kind of impacted your career and like your entrepreneurship and everything?
Hmm.
Or has it at all?
That's a good question. Hmm. I don't. It has not made it harder. I wouldn't say
Mhm.
that it has. Um, I don't honestly. I've met so many amazing female entrepreneurs along the way. Even like before Clubhouse, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups for women entrepreneurs, and I have most of my VA clients are females, and I don't know. I'm just surrounded by so many amazing women that it hasn't hindered me in any way. You know what I mean? Like, I felt
Mhm.
support, and um, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it hasn't like been a negative thing in any way, which is good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always am curious too because I feel like it is such a like it really depends on the people you're surrounded by that affect that like if it makes a difference or not. So it's awesome that
Yes.
it hasn't. And I feel like sometimes being a woman like it makes you stronger, I think, like especially when you're pursuing things like this and you have this stronger community, which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Because even like in the Facebook groups I was in, I mean, there's just so much support out there that, um, yeah, it's just been really, really helpful.
Yeah, that social media has been such a like it has its negative sides, but it is also such a like blessing for things like this and like being able to bring people together and like have organizations like this where you can have an actual community around a like business. It's such a unique aspect to life, I feel like, with social media.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, honestly, if I didn't have online businesses, I don't think, I don't know, I wasn't like a huge social media person before. I mean, I would post like, I don't know, I wasn't like a huge I wasn't even on Instagram till I started this brand, or
Oh,
sorry,
really?
no, sorry, till I had an online business. But
Okay.
I didn't really get into Instagram really like a lot, and really until Clubhouse.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm really just I'm on it for business.
Hmm.
Because sometimes you need a little break from it.
Definitely. Does your daughter ever like get to help with designs and stuff for the shirts at all?
um,
Or has she been interested in that?
Let me think. Um, I mean, like I talked to her. I'll talk to her about. Well, actually, you know what? For the ones for the girls, actually, more for those, I would say, like, what do you think of this or that?
Yeah.
But she likes making the videos with me, like our TikToks and some of the reels that we did together. Because like I didn't have to force her to do it. Like, she's a ham like me, so she likes to be on camera. Like, she started her own little YouTube channel like about a year ago. She didn't do that. She didn't do a lot with it, but like, she wanted to do that, so she likes to be on camera a lot.
Oh, cute.
So she likes to help with that part. Yeah.
Perfect. And then I wanted to know if you had any like words of encouragement for other women that are like wanting to do things like this or start their own business and like what you have for or what you would like encourage women to do or like words of just advice.
Yeah. I always like to say, first, always listen to your inner voice. And when you get those ideas, you know, if it feels, if you keep getting the same whispers from your inner voice, like, try this, try that, like, I feel like you can never go wrong if you pursue those things, because I feel like those are your gifts talking to you. You know what I mean? Like it's what you're supposed to be doing when you're quiet and you get these ideas. And, it's entrepreneurship is really not easy, and it's good to know that going in, but also remember just to take baby steps and just do it. Like, just get started, just do one little step at a time, because otherwise it's overwhelming. And so you do one little step at a time and figure out what you need to do, for what you want to do. And just, even if you're afraid, like, acknowledge it, but just do it. Like, just do it afraid. Just do it afraid, because you're going to be afraid. Because when you start, especially, everything is new. Like, I'm doing so many new things now. Like, I never thought I would interview someone on Instagram Live. I didn't even know what Instagram Live really was. Like, it was new, and someone gave me the idea, and I was like, okay, well, that's a little scary because it's new, but I'm going to do it anyway. And you just do it, and because you never know what's on the other side, and you don't want to miss out on that stuff. You know what I mean? Because there could be some really great things out there when you go for what you want. So yeah, that would be my advice.
I love that. I love the phrase, just do it afraid. I'm going to start using that.
Me too.
You need that on a shirt.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Do it. I would get one for sure. I really like that phrase. It's perfect.
It's pretty cool.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. It was really cool talking to you, and I really love what you're doing, and especially just for women. And I'm so happy to hear you have a daughter that's following in your footsteps. Is really awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This was super fun.
No problem. Well, I'll keep tabs on your Instagram and go look at some shirts, and hopefully everyone listening will do the same. And also we'll everyone will have to go check you out on Clubhouse too. I know you're really active on there.
Yeah, Clubhouse. If you're not on Clubhouse, you got to get on Clubhouse.
Yes, definitely.
It really is the most amazing place to network, because it's just it's live and it's right there and it happens. It's just, you get to know people much faster, because, when someone's talking, it's much different than just seeing their picture on social media or, or reading a post. It's just a very fast way to get to know people. And that's why it's so powerful.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think the ability to like ask a question right there and like have a conversation and hear a voice, like you said, is really like impactful. And then just like the different views of people all over the world, it's really, really interesting to like get into those rooms and listen to people talk.
It really is. You learn a lot, and you just meet amazing people. And once you connect off of Clubhouse, like on Instagram, and send each other messages, and you get on phone calls, it's like, it's even more powerful, because then you're creating like a real connections, and it starts on Clubhouse. So it's really incredible.
Yep, I totally agree. I've just got started on there, and it's really interesting. I honestly I had never heard of it, and then my boss recommended I join it and start connecting with people, and it's been really interesting and really cool platform.
Yeah, that's how it starts. Like, you don't know about it, and then you're like, what's Clubhouse? And then you get on it, and then before you know it, you'll be obsessed. Thank you so much, Carly. This was really great.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everybody listening. Be sure to share this episode and follow us on Instagram at Go Ahead Tell Me. Bye for now.